there are a lot of kind of gym heroes in the GAA these days where they're animals in the gym, and it leads to problems at some stage down the line. And I even see fellas going in with Kerry and other young fellas going into county panels. They're not fully developed. They're young. They're not frail, but they're slight. They need to obviously put on a lot of weight and a lot of muscle at some stage. But is there a rush to get these fellas as big as possible? You know, and next thing they're pulling hamstrings off the bone, and their hips are out of line, and it just leads to problems. Whereas if you see kind of in other sports, soccer especially, they kind of take a couple of years to get up to that level. You know, they kind of put up with, right, you're not going to be physically strong for your first year or two. You'll have to come up with other coping mechanisms. But in the GA, I think it's a case of get him in the gym as much as possible, double his leg size, get as heavy a bar on that hip thrust as we can do, and
The
get
hip
him up to speed.
thrust,
And
Jesus,
I
the back
wonder,
squats, the
does
hip
that,
thrust.
yeah, I wonder, does that, you know, lead to problems down the line? Because
So
how can you have 21 injuries? How
Yeah,
can that happen?
that is a lot.
it's an interesting point, and you'd imagine that the amount that's invested and how far it's come with sports science, that this is all nailed. But say, for example, we were to take young Conor Bradley, who has now broken in with Liverpool, and imagine the stars that aligned in a slightly different way. Do you reckon if Conor Bradley was now playing in the half-forward line for Tyrone, he'd be a much
Twice the
bigger
size.
frame, twice the size that he is
Yeah.
now? Because like he's
fucking animal.
like, and I know
Yeah.
it's a different sport, I know it's a different game, but you know, his body shape hasn't really changed. I don't think it will change that much throughout his soccer career.
It will change slowly, and they'll
Yeah.
probably do it in a progressive way rather than he has to go from 0 to 100 in this off season so he can play. I think
What do
that
you?
there's a bit of that culture at the moment.
Being a star player at minor or club level, this jump up to senior into county, and particularly in for Dublin, we're trying to win All Ireland, is absolutely massive in terms of your body trying to deal with it mentally, just the speed of the game, the pressures that are coming up, but physically being able to train Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and then the games and recovery and stuff like that. It is a big ask.